Si lower his dignity, bakit hindi magtanong ang Pangulo si Leon Silao? Yun o, ganun lang yan. Pakunwari lang. But actually, kami ang tinatarget mo, si Doke, si Secretary Galvez. Sus Maria Josep. Ikaw yung may totoo. What has come out in your investigation is that meron kang dinispalko na 86 million out of the 146 na hiniram ninyo, 86% ang kinuha mo, o 86 billion. Yan ang totoo kasi natalo ka sa COA, nag-appeal ka, natalo ka, umabot ka ng Supreme Court, ngayon natalo ka, and the judgment is final and executory. Wala ka nang magawa dyan, kundi bayaran isa uli mo ang pera, Dick Gordon. Return the money. Itong investigasyon mo wala pa. Ang totoo dito ang lumabas, sabi ng COA na walang korupsyon, walang overprice at delivered lahat. Ano pa ang gusto mo? Sige, kakalka, naghahanap ka. Kasi gusto mo sigurong nasa TV ka araw-araw. Libre kasi ang exposure. Mga kababayan ko, kung ito si Gordon, sa katagal na nito sa Senado, ganon pa rin ang pinapakita niya. Tapunan ninyo yan. Maghanap kayo ng mga bagong senador. Huwag yung mga, ano na, yung parang despot na, parang hari na hindi ka pasagutin. Kung yung tanong mo, may sagot siya na gusto mong sabihin. Kung ayaw niya, magagalit ka. Anong klaseng? May, yung ano mo is, may sinabi ka na anti-democratic. At ito, you will suffer itong statement mo. Sabi mo, kami ang nagpapatagal sa... Sabi ko nga, durugin mo na. Parmalin o lahat yung ano diyan, wala kaming pakialam at hindi namin dinipinsahan. Kaya lang, every time you call, tinawag mo si Duque na naman, Secretary Duque kanina, hindi naman ninyo tinanong. You know, I want the cabinet members to focus on COVID-19. It is a pandemic. And it has spread throughout the country and in other parts like Davao, Cagayan, Cebu, malaki pa ang trabaho natin. And alam mo, pinapatawag mo for nothing and for how many days para kang sino na Sus Gordon, oy, maluya man ako sa iyo. What are you? What's the... Wala ka mang nakuha hanggang ngayon. Walang corruption. Lumalabas to yung baho mo. Ikaw ang may kailangan ngayon. As a matter of fact, we will be filing a case against you for malversation. Not as a senator. dinikit mo yung pidaf mo dyan sa red, anak ng witing ka. At gidrawing mo yung muka mo. Ang muka mo nandiyan lahat nakaplastar. That is a cheap propaganda. That is the Filipino people spends for that. Ang gusto namin malaman, kasi yung pera ng 86, I think, o 88 million na PDAF mo, sinali mo doon sa pera ng you commingled it, gikurambos mo, tawag dyan sa Bisaya. So mahirapan tayo ngayon maghanap niyan. It has to be an audit. Kasi pag hindi yung mag-audit yung itong COA, there is a provision in the Constitution which mandates COA to conduct an audit and find the money where it is. Yan ang mahirap sa iyo. And you say, ang mahirap ito, may sinabi ka, nag-dragging, at ito ang sinabi mo. You know, this statement of yours will create a crisis. Sigurado ako. So we better prepare for that. Nabi mo, and you say that this can go on until kingdom come. Ibig sabihin, at the end of the world, yun yung panahon na magbaba na si Kristo para sabihin kung sino yung magdanakaw, pati liars. Sigurado ako, ikaw ay ituro dyan sa Olongapo. Ngayon, kailan ito matapos kingdom come? Who are you to say that? Sabi ko, that is a very undemocratic statement. And you want the Filipino nation, pati kami dito sa Executive Department, damayin mo? Well, I'm telling you now, I have ordered Secretary Medialdea to prepare the Executive Secretary. I will issue a memorandum na lahat ng nasa Executive Department will no longer obey your summons. Kasi kingdom come ka. Kailan mo matapos magsabi, basta kingdom come. Mahirap dito until kingdom come. You are overstepping your jurisdiction on this. There is an abuse of discretion already. This is not an acceptable statement in a democracy. We are run by laws and rules, and you cannot do that for you to wait for kingdom come.
This is what we have found so far. Some people equivocate. Some people try to skirt the questions that are being asked, and rather haltingly or hide behind the mask of confusion when the questions are clear. In the meantime, we go along with our hearing, and this is the 10th hearing practically, and we will go on to kingdom come until we go, because we are still practically in the beginning, and we're still on formally, and there's a lot more to be dug.
Dalawa lang, alam mo, dalawa lang kayong nagsabi niyan, ng kingdom come. Hesus Kristo pati ikaw. Na-realize mo ba yan? Kingdom come. That's one of the statement of Jesus Christ when he was here with us dito sa in the planeta. Pati ikaw. So you are playing God. So pag sinubina mo yung taga-executive department, kasi ayaw ko na, based on your statement that you will conduct the investigation until kingdom come, ako, just to, pull back the secretaries, Duque and Secretary Galvez, mag-focus sila, redirect your attention to our problem of pandemic. Never mind Gordon, he is nothing. And alam mo, Senator Gordon, just like parang advice, please do not use that recklessly you've been using it in a reckless manner yung i-contempt mo yung mga official ko, the procedure there is yung methodologies, you will order the automatic the sergeant at arms to arrest the persons refusing to heed your summons, subpoena. So, hulihin niya ng sergeant at arms. I said that you have gone out of bounds amounting to lack of jurisdiction. So, sabihin ko sa sergeant at arms ngayon, do not ever attempt to arrest anybody. Kasi ikaw ang arestuhin ko. Ngayon, you will order the police and the military to help the sheriff. Ako naman as Commander-in-Chief of all uniformed personnel of government, I am ordering the police and the military and everybody to stay out of this trouble. Huwag kayong sumali, huwag kayong sumunod kasi may crisis na tayo. There will be a time maybe which I am just afraid that you will have to intervene. Pero wag muna ngayon because it's just a brewing. And ako kasi, grave abuse of discretion, the exercise of is a grave abuse of discretion amounting to lack of jurisdiction. Sinobrahan mo eh. So pag sinobrahan mo, away na tayo. Na mag-order ka ng sergeant at arms mo, sino man kasama niya, isa lang man yan. So you will order the police. So I'm ordering the police not to obey you. You may resort to using the military. Ang sabihin ko sa military, stay out. My order is you stay put. Huwag kayong sumunod sa order ni Gordon kasi he is now treading on dangerous grounds. Itong kanyang hearing is an exercise of grave abuse of discretion amounting to already of lack of jurisdiction. That power to compel people to be there does not include abuse, does not include despotic ways, does not include like making a very reckless but deliberate statement, which is an affront to the Constitution when you say, I will conduct the investigation until kingdom come. Tanungin kita ngayon, sino ka? Na kayong mga senador, you might be offended by my words now. Yung kasama ninyo, sabihan ninyo. Pag hindi rin kayo makaprangka, gusto ninyong sumali sa rumble, di mag-rumble tayo. Then I said there will be a constitutional crisis. So I'm ordering the military and the police to, as their commander-in-chief. May crisis na tayo. Ikaw ang bahala. Wala na, marami sanang points dito na sa iyo. Harry Roque is now with us, and he can give us the finer points of law about your behavior dyan sa Senate. Harry, you can have the floor.
Magandang gabi, Mayor, at magandang gabi po sa lahat ng ating mga kababayan. Unang-una po, tama po mga sinabi ninyo, isa po sa bagong probisyon ng ating saligang batas yung tinatawag na certiorari power ng ating hukuman. May mga political questions po tayo at ito po yung mga questions na sangayon sa saligang batas ay kinakailangan maresolbahan ng iba't ibang mga sangay ng gobyerno. Pero kapag nagkaroon po ng grave abuse of discretion, pag nagkaroon ng capriciousness, pag nagkaroon ng wantonness, yan po ay po pwedeng mapawalang bisa. Dahil bagamat meron po tayong kanya-kanya mga puder sa iba't ibang sangay ng gobyerno, dapat po ito ay ginagawa natin in good faith and it must be done within the bounds of jurisdiction. So, tama po ang sinasabi ninyo. Bagamat may kapangyarihan pong Senado na mag-conduct ng investigations in aid of legislation, isa po siyempre sa limitasyon is that it must be in aid of legislation, bagamat we concede that because of the plenary power of Congress, it is Congress ultimately that will decide what is in aid of legislation. Pero ang exception po dyan is if they act with grave abuse of discretion amounting to lack of jurisdiction. At sa tingin ko po, yung sinabi ni Senator Gordon that he will conduct the hearing till kingdom come, knowing na ang mga nagpa-participate po sa hearing ay ang mga kaparehong mga kalihim na in charge po sa COVID response ng ating bansa. Ang DOH Secretary, ang vaccine SAR, ang testing SAR, ayan po ay tantamount already to grave abuse of discretion. Hindi naman po pwede na bilang presidente na kapag na ang inyong katungkulan ay pagpapatupad ng batas, hindi po pwede magkaroon ng paralysis sa sangay ng gobyerno na nagbibigay serbisyo sa panahon ng COVID. Ang IATF po pinamumunuan ng Secretary ng Department of Health. Yung ating solution po sa pandemya ng mga bakuna, pinamumunuan po ni Secretary Galvez at siyempre po yung importanteng gawain pagdating po sa ating PDITR, sa detection ng testing, ay pinamumunuan po ni Secretary Vince Dizon. Kung ang mga kalihim pong ito ay araw-araw na lang mula alas 8 hanggang alas 5 ng hapon ay humaharap sa Kongreso till kingdom come, magkakaroon po ito ng epekto, magkakaroon po ng paralysis yung abilidad ng ating gobyerno na bigyan ng katugunan ang problema ng COVID-19 pandemic. So in my humble opinion po, it is already tantamount to grave abuse of discretion. It no longer is in aid of election. It is a witch hunt. It is a persecution. It is in aid of election. At meron po kayong katungkulan na panindigan na po ang saligang batas at katungkulang bilang isang presidente na nag-eeksersisyo ng inherent police power of the state to take such steps that will promote, among others, public health. Yun lang po ang aking humble opinion. At sa tingin ko po, tama po, there is a constitutional crisis dahil inutusan niyo po ang mga kapulisan na magsumunod sa contempt powers ng Senado, pero the Constitution po is written in a way na there should be auto limitations in the way the powers of the three branches of government are exercised. And where there is grave abuse of discretion, that auto limitation will result in an equilibrium. And I believe, Mr. President, that although this might be the beginning of a constitutional crisis, it will resolve itself because the Senate will ultimately realize that they do not have the police power to enforce even their contempt powers if and when they act in a manner that is capricious and bereft of legitimacy. Yun po ang aking humble submission. Magandang gabi po, Mayor, Mr. President.
Salamat, Secretary Roque. Tama ka talaga on all fours. I agree with you. You articulated my sentiments. I was not really able to give it the way that you're doing kasi batas na eh at pinag-aralan mo and you are a constitutionalist, professor ka ng constitution. Alam mo talaga lahat. And besides, yung maski na ordinary lawyer or ordinary person, pag sinubrahan mo yung power mo, then there is a grave abuse of discretion. Then pagka ganon, it would go out to something like in excess of or lack of jurisdiction na. Kaya ako, I will protect the people of the Republic of the Philippines by calling all the secretaries involved in the fight against COVID to stay focused. Kung pinapatawag nila yan, may mga decisions sa araw-araw, ilan, they have to make critical and crucial decisions. And if they spend most of their time, pinapatawag doon, parang boy, paupuin mo lang, medyo malabo yan, Dick. Ano talaga, yung very appropriate yung pangalan mo. Dick, how is your health? Umpisahan mo ng di ba, first nang sinabi ko noon na huwag mag-testify, sabi ko, but kayong natawag na, especially si General, si Secretary Lorenzana, Secretary Galvez, and Secretary Duque, huwag naman masyadong ini-insulto mo pa yan. You know, you do not have that right to insult people and to shout at people and to interrupt the truth. Pinuputol mo Pinuputol mo because of your power as a senator. So this time, I will castrate you. Hindi ko na papayagan ang mga tao. Okay, kailangan ko yan tsaka COVID. Inuubos mo yung panahon nila. So tayo na mag-away. So ngayon, I'm sure that you will use your contempt powers. Hanggang diyan ka lang. Yan siya, Sergeant at Arms mo. Sus Maria Sept, ipa-aresto ko yan. Sino naman tawagan mo? Police? I'm ordering the police now to stay out. Do not obey the Senate. So, and the military, if Gordon feels like calling upon you, again, the same order, stay out. stay out because there is a brewing constitutional crisis here. Not of our own making. Hindi sa amin nanggaling yung the fault does not lie in us. Ako nga pumayag, ako sabi ko, sige, total umpisa naman ninyo. Pero sumusobra ka na eh. So, ang iyo talaga, naghahanap ka ng butas na makita, nagtanggap kami ng pera. Yan ang gusto mong mayari. Sos Gordon. Kasi hindi mo kami kilala. Akala mo lang, if you have been to the ways of corruption, gaya ikaw, PDAF. What's the PDAF actually? PDAF is corruption. Wala mga talaga nawawala na ang pera dyan sa gobyerno dahil dyan sa PDAF na yan. It cannot be accounted. Billions. Billions of PDAF cannot be accounted for already. Because yung auditing is already an impossible task. So, yan, dinikit mo yan. It's that, dinikit mo yung pera dyan sa Red Cross, tapos you're using the facilities to promote yourself. Be careful. Be careful, Dick. Be careful in exercising the powers of government. There is always a limit to what you can do. So, sabi ko, na nagwawala ka na, kapunin kita. And that is what's going to happen. I'm sorry it has gone this way. I do not want it. That's the last thing that I would want to do, quarrel with a separate body. But I can only take so much. Yung kingdom come na yan means that you can summon everybody again araw-araw to the detriment of the workings of government. That is not good. I do not want that to happen. But gagawain ko talaga. So yung ito, Dick, yung positive, yung false positive ng RT-PCR test conducted by PRC, I have learned that out of the PSG personnel, whereby 187 out of 213 tested positive in the PCR Manila laboratory, yet tested negative in their confirmatory test. If you have 187 positives in the PSG, it would mean that 3 or 4 personnel or individual that you need also to put to test or put in quarantine as contact traced individuals. Maubos ang tao ko sa kung yung lahat na dumaan mag-anak ng. This is not acceptable, Dick. I do not want my PSG to be placed in jeopardy. So, yun lang, Dick. Tulog ka na. And prepare tomorrow. Because tomorrow, you will be one of those impotent, by your making, an impotent worker of government. Hindi mo kasi naintindihan yung senador eh. ang highfalutin titles. We are all workers of government. Remember that. So, iwanan na kita dyan, Dick.